fireworks. Clap that shit. Hey, yo, what's up? Hey, yo, what's up? How you guys doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to thank you. This video that just popped up in the corner somewhere did very well. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing on that video. Got like 20 new subscribers. You guys were really engaged in the comment section. Look, I really do appreciate anything you guys can do. So sharing this, liking, subscribing, all that cool stuff helps. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I've hit one of my goals, so you can donate whatever you feel like. But there's a Patreon and donation button in the description. But the reason why this video hit was we were talking about ghost jobs. And in that video, I kind of described what a ghost job is, and then further took it to its extreme, why they exist and what's perpetuating them. And the consensus at the end of that TLDR was basically the ghost jobs exist to try and get Papa Powell, who is the person who controls the rates and the interest rates. Basically, they're artificially inflating job numbers to make it seem like the economy is doing well, but no one's getting hired. And we had some data that could prove it, but it was on a 10-year hike, and we didn't really have a way of contextualizing how it works and how it functions as of today. But we have more information, and now we have some labor numbers that kind of show us what's going on. And I have to say, I truly love doing these videos, because as much, if you guys are learning something, just my mind is usually blown at some of the articles I read and find out things and then connecting the dots. But if you ever told me there was a world where me knowing who the CEO of LinkedIn was and how, and once again, we're not a political channel. All right, clap it. We're not a political channel.
Beta!
Stop being mean. I don't talk politics here. But Kamala Harris is doing very well in the polls, and it's not by accident that she's doing very well. You know, she's a charismatic, smart, very coppish leader. Come on, that's as nice as I'm gonna get. But she's definitely taking up a number with her ability to raise over $200 million in less than 1 week. So the thing that you have to remember is, if the people find her popular, that means people with money also find her very popular. And people with money want to ask for favors. Because trust me, they don't give you money to be acting funny. They want you to do something for them. So let's find out what a little bit of change will do to make Kamala Harris do something strange. You feel me? Clapping. Hey, yo, that's a bar. That's a bar. Is LinkedIn billionaire Reid Hoffman trying to bribe Kamala Harris? Well, he contains multitudes. This headline is super strange. Who wrote this shit? Lucas Ropke? You're doing too much. That question mark was enough intrigue. Well, he contains multitudes. Well, I guess you're going to make us ask why. So let's figure out. This is hot off the press today. About a week ago, tech billionaire, Democratic Party political donor Reid Hoffman said the quiet part out loud, openly suggesting that Kamala Harris fire Federal Trade Commission Chair Lina Khan. Should we win the White House in November, Hoffman also happens to sit on the board of Microsoft, a company that over the past few years has been the target of several probes via the agency that Khan heads. Since making his controversial remarks, Hoffman has been working overtime to convince the American public that what sure seems a whole lot like influence peddling is not actually that. So he basically said the person who's been investigating his friends, and also, could you imagine you're a CEO of a company. How do you have time to sit on the board of another company? Microsoft at that. So he's basically upset that Lina Khan, who basically works at the Trade Commission, is doing her job. And if you guys don't know who Lina Khan is, please look into her. If Biden made any hires next to Ketanji Brown Jackson, Lina Khan is second best, and is a close second, because her ability to track people down and bring them to yield in the fiscal sense is pretty impressive. It's super impressive. But Hoffman making it clear, if he's putting money into Kamala Harris' pocket, he wants some return on that investment. He wants some return on them investments. Hoffman went on CNN yesterday and again tried to justify his remarks today. He posted a unique psychological theory on that, one that seeks to contextualize how he can appear to have conflicts of interest while actually not having one, according to him. He's doing the Obi-Wan. You don't see any conflicts of interest. You should subscribe to my YouTube channel. Oh, you have? Now donate. No, I'm just playing. Bro, having like billionaires really do be out of touch. He's trying to tell us we literally have rules, laws, and regulations to identify conflicts of interest. And here he is trying to explain to us, hey, look, guys. I know as the owner of LinkedIn, it looks really sus that I'm sitting on the board of Microsoft, who was at one point one of the richest company in the world, advising them on how to get interest rates down. And we'll connect the dots here in a second. While actually not having one, according to him, there are actually a number of different Reid Hoffmans. So he has split personalities. One of those Hoffmans is a Microsoft board member. Okay, cool. A different Hoffman acts as an expert of vague but apparently potent qualifications. Another Hoffman, that's 3 motherfuckers, God, is a political donor. According to him, all of these Hoffmans interact with the world separately and independently, and none of their interests ever converge. Oh man. Do you know? because there's a part of me that thinks he believes this. He believes that he has the capacity to separate these things. He honestly thinks he's that man. Oh yeah, I got a dude who talks in vague but important subject matter. I got a dude that sits on the board, and I got a dude that donates politically. And of those 3 people, which one of them mother lovers is taking care of your company? So that means he's got a 4th one. I'm assuming you're married, so there's a 5th one, like your Family Guy version of you. What are your hobbies? There's the 6th one. Like, how many personalities is really inside of this dude? And I'm not going to sit here and talk about another man's waistline, but he's a jolly fella, so he might have a lot of personalities in there to swelter on. He's absolutely drinking his own Kool-Aid, and he put way too much goddamn sugar. It's off balance. It's too much sugar. You fucked it. You didn't put no lime in there, no lemon. You just put the bag of sugar in there. You fucked it. And the thing about it is, these billionaires actually think they have the riz. He really thinks he can riz people. Like he does. He's not charismatic. No one's buying this. I totally agree with not buying levels of influence Hoffman claimed after CNN anchor Jake Tapper asked him if that is what he was doing. Yet, how can this be the case when his financial contributions seem predicated on future favors? Hoffman explained like this. Oh, shit. This is a direct quote. I separate my roles as a donor and as an expert. So if you ask me my opinion as a donor, I say I am giving my money to Kamala Harris because I think she is the best future president. But if you ask me as an expert about what Lina Khan is doing and where I think she is helping or hurting America relative to your anti-merger policies, which are, mostly there to bring litigation versus, real solidly grounded in what helps American business thrive here and overseas. Then I give my expert opinion, but I think donors and experts should be kept separate, and I've never tied the two over in any conversation. He literally couldn't get out of this conversation without connecting the two. He literally said it right here. But if you ask me as an expert about what Lina Khan is doing, where I think she is helping and hurting America, this is directly correlating to what your first persona is, business. Your first persona is worried about your donation persona. So in retrospect, if Kamala Harris said Lina Khan isn't going to be fired, would you not donate to her anymore? Because now you literally have two conflicting parts. You said she's the best future for America, Kamala Harris, but if she says she's not going to fire Lina Khan, your donor version is what happens if is one of your internal personalities beats the brakes off of one of your internal personalities? Does that one get bigger? Does it get stronger? Or is it like Highlander? You get their powers and memory when you cop their head off. He has created this fantasy world in his mind, and I am invested now. That is fascinating. Psychologists take note. This unique theory of human mind could upend everything we thought we know about how and why humans behave the way they do. At the very least, it could help explain why Hoffman can appear to be telling Kamala Harris to fire Khan so that the company he has massive financial interest in, Microsoft, can continue to consolidating the power in the tech industry, even though apparently that's not what he is doing. He's basically saying, don't pay attention to my wallet or my actions that my wallet take. Pay attention to my words. Literally, the every business 101. Take no one at their word. Take them at their signature. Somewhere in the middle of the idiotic conversation, Tapper finally decided to meet the lowest possible bar required to call himself a journalist. Oh my God. Lucas. Why are you coming for Jake? Golly. This is the second spicy person. The person yesterday was talking spicy too, man. Sheesh. And pointed out the obvious to Hoffman. There aren't like 100 Reid Hoffmans. It's not like one of you is a donor and one of you has an opinion on Lina Khan, and one of you is on the board of Microsoft, and one of you is a venture capitalist. You're all the same guy, he said. Hoffman didn't really have much to say to that. He had apparently been banking on the notion that his unique theory of human personality would sway both Tapper and the viewers at home. He pivoted back to simply denial. Good idea. I never had a conversation with Kamala Harris about this, Hoffman insisted. I never said... Imagine, unprovoked. Hey, by the way, I know you say in your mind's gate or mind's eye that you are multiple people, but to the real world, you're just one person. And his response was, I never asked Kamala Harris to fire Lina Khan, just for the record. Like, if that's not your we're at 8 now, your guilt coming out, that's called your guilty conscience. Speaking subconsciously, saying the quiet part out loud. Oh, this guy is fascinating. Why Hoffman has publicly suggested that Kamala Harris fire Khan is obvious to anyone moderately aware of the FTC's activities over the past few years. Under Han, the agency launched multiple efforts to stop mergers between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, which is kind of crazy because didn't Activision Blizzard fire 17%? So that merger acquisition thing didn't work the way he wanted. It would make Microsoft the third largest gaming company in the country. Then last month, the FTC opened a probe into the Microsoft relationship with Infectious AI and the AI startup that the tech giant entered into the business arrangement. This is a great article, and it really helped me tie together some of my more profound thoughts on this, because think about how problematic it is for the CEO of LinkedIn, one of the biggest job market centers and data brokers for unemployed employers and all sorts of data points. What a magnitude of information he can provide. And also remember, these companies want to project a sense of everything is all right. Papa Pow, go ahead and drop those rates, man. Let us get back to making money the way we used to. There's people getting jobs now. People are getting jobs. It's cool. And what better way? And when they say there's people getting jobs, they say, look at LinkedIn, look at Indeed. Those job numbers are looking amazing. They're looking immaculate. So it's sus. It's super sus that the person who's saying that there's jobs available is also on the board of the person who's supposed to be providing the jobs. That's the second biggest company in the world. But then I saw this article, this chart, and this chart is super interesting for two reasons. This is the labor market distribution spider chart. It's a spider chart. Spider charts are very unique in the sense that they project linear objects that could be hidden in a bar or line chart. And a lot of these things can be missed, but the thing you want to focus on is the navy blue is from 2020, the green is from 2023, and the orange is from 2024. And the point of interest here we want to pay attention to is private job opening rate. As you get further to the outside of the web, the better things should be. The better things should be. And as you get closer to the middle, the worst things should be. The reason why this is so important is because at the same time that in June 2023 and February 2020, this is during the pandemic, they're within the same web column of each other. And by column, I mean these dashed lines. They're all in the same column. The private job opening rate is super high. And if you think back to the pandemic, this is true. During the pandemic, there was a push to get more people into jobs. 2023, when there was a lack of optimized workflow, there was a push to get people into job. But notice how it hasn't moved off of that point. It's remained high. It never dropped. During this time, we went through a pseudo recession and the most interest rate ups that we've ever seen. Why does this matter? Because if you take it over just a little bit to the private hire rates, now look at how low. In 2024, that's the orange one, they're not hiring people. They're not hiring anybody. In fact, they're hiring more people. They're hiring less people than when the pandemic was going on. The plan to hire people is even lower than when the pandemic was happening. Meanwhile, the true number signs say it all. Job availability in 2024 is below, is in the second column from the outside break next to it. Meanwhile, private quit rates, which I can't confirm if this is talking about being laid off either. Unemployment is also doing worse than back before the pandemic. I don't think my hypothesis is not unfounded. I think it can definitely be tested. We've now used two different data charts from two different labor bureaus to show that there is an artificial inflation of jobs in the market. And with this comes a certain level of uncertainty. And the uncertainty comes because people don't know what to do and how to do it. It goes without saying that if you need a job in today's day and age, you need a referral. Almost absolutely, because there's no plan to hire anybody. And nobody really knows what's going on unless they are in the company. So let this be a call out. Just because Kamala Harris makes it into office doesn't necessarily mean everything is going to be all gravy, baby. There are provocateurs, there are deceptors, deceivers, Decepticons out there who want to invoke their aunt. And for whatever it's worth, you need to be preaching the word of Lina Khan because she wants to keep these people at bay. They want to get the interest rates back down so that they can start making money like they used to. It's diabolical. It's unconscionable, and I don't know if we can get the Congress to come together and recognize this issue soon enough to actually have an impact before it becomes a detriment to our economic society. Because there's no way in hell private companies should be able to dictate job availability, and we as a government don't have a way of auditing that. And if there's no industry, there's no system for that, dare I say Lina Khan's, but that's the FTC. I don't know if that falls into their purview. But if there's no organization or entity within the government that is taking numbers and information at face value and not auditing these numbers, I think that's crazy. And and dare I say, I might want to make this into a project, a personal project here. We've been talking a lot about data. Maybe we can pull the labor infrastructure data and stuff like that. Do a little ETL, clean it up, and push it out to data and see where the jobs are. Who's hiring? And figure all that stuff out. But I'm curious to know what you think. 2 videos now about this. Let me know. Are you guys finding this information to be useful? Do you find referrals to be more effective than just cold calling and trying to get a job? You know, I'm an old school person. I just used to walk in with my shirt and tie and a briefcase full of my resumes and hand them out and basically say, I'm working here now. Get fucked. I work here now. That's what I did at Shoe Carnival when I was in high school. I just walked in with the polo and said, I'd like to jump.